All right, how you guys doing? This is your man Bogy, and we are here in the CREW Afterhours. So we are here, season 2, episode 17, and with me I got GB in the house.
Yo, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
All right, and we have in blue, from the blue room, we got O.M.B in the house.
What's going on, guys? I'm blue and dabba dee dabba die.
Nice. Hopefully, in a little while, we're gonna have Hess joining us, and as you can see, JFEW's not here because he's a chicken. All right, said it. And this first topic here that we're gonna go ahead and do is gonna be the T.C.A. roundtable. So we're just gonna go ahead and share and talk about things that have been going on from the last, the last episode. So let me share what happened in the last episode, because it's been 4 weeks since we haven't really seen each other, or so maybe 6 weeks, I think, with O.M.B. So in the last episode, number 16, it was the second time that we had a T.C.A. versus episode. So it was just Hess and myself. So he took one topic and I took another. And we definitely had a great conversation going on. Now, the first time this happened was a versus in episode 7 on April 2nd, and that was with JMoody. So that was our first versus. And actually, I was mentioning to O.M.B. that maybe in the future, I mean, you know, if you guys want, you know, I would love to have a single episode with each one of you guys. So far we've had with JMoody and Hess. So, you know, in the future, you know, we could, you know, try to do one where we do a versus with O.M.B. and a versus with GB and, you know, some of the other guys. So we can definitely try to do that later on. Now, I'll share with you guys. And so for the next show taping that we're going to be doing, and that one's going to be episode 18. And we're going to get together August 28th for that taping. We're gonna have a special guest. Now, not only a special guest, but I'm gonna keep it as a mystery special guest. So I really hope that you know, you two guys here and most of the fellas, really hope you guys come for that one. Now, I reached out to this special guest, this special mystery guest, on June 9th to get him on the show. Now, at least that's about all the information that you're going to get from me, that it's a him. His appearance here is going to be 2.5 months in the making. Now, all I can say is either he is or has been affiliated with TGA. Most here should know him or know of him. I mentioned this to JFEW, and he kind of went crazy trying to have me reveal by asking a whole bunch of questions, but it wouldn't be a mystery guest on that day if I let you guys know who it is. But you guys will be pleasantly surprised when the day comes. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you guys.
All right.
So it'll be a good episode. This is someone who has, I would say, a lot of knowledge of the favorite things that a lot of us here enjoy. So that one's going to be a really cool episode. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the floor. If you guys want, let's go ahead and start off with one that actually I think GB mentioned in our chat. In one of the last mentions that you did was talking about old school cereal. And when you talk about old school cereal, you know, I'm going to kind of equate that with, you know, me growing up with old school cereal. So for me, it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
And aside from eating cereal like the, you know, normal kids for breakfast right before running to school, I remember that I probably enjoyed the most of eating my cereals on a Saturday morning. And for the two fellas here, and hopefully a lot of you guys viewing this, you guys know what went down on a Saturday morning. It was time to you know, sit down and get ready to watch hours and hours of cartoon.
Yeah.
And for that, you know, I think most of
5 hours of cartoon, man.
would be waking up early as hell. But definitely for me, the cereal is what made it. So I'll share with you guys the cereal that I really, well, in my household, we weren't rich folk. So we had regular cereal, which was Kellogg's. So you can imagine if I wanted that sweet tooth, you know, because most cereals are what? They're, you know, they're the attraction is the sweetness of it. I'd be pouring, you know, teaspoons of sugar in my
Yeah.
Kellogg's
We're kids.
to make it sweet. So that was me. That was my, you know, one of my old school cereals. I mean, you know, one of them, but it was mostly Kellogg's. So GB, since you brought this up, I mean, what are your memories of your old school cereal and anything that comes with that?
Well, first off, of course, you guys know I'm a Ghostbusters fan, but I was
Yes.
not really a fan of the Ghostbusters cereal.
Mm,
It had some type of like weird raspberry taste to it, but I never liked it. But I do have somewhere a box that I bought from one of the original cereals that has a hologram on it with the logo. It looked kind of cool, old school hologram, you know. But there's like, I mean, like you were saying, in like Saturday mornings, besides the cartoons from 7 to 12 in the afternoon, that's how many hours you would watch cartoons. There were commercials with all the different toys and all the other different cereals out there.
Mm,
And I
man.
mean, just to name, I mean, a lot of the cereals that I've noticed had a lot of licensing. Let's say Smurf
yeah.
cereal. That basically is, and you'll know that a lot of the cereals actually copied each other. Just so you know, just they're just recycling stuff, just making, you know, just putting other names on it just to sell it. Like if you say Honey Smacks or Golden Grams, almost the same thing.
Pretty
But
much.
Captain Crunch berries taste just like Smurf cereal,
Yeah.
or Smurf's berry cereal or something like that. Berry Smurf cereal, I forget. I remember a bunch of them. C3POs, which
Yeah,
looked like the Cheerios stuck together. That's all it was.
I remember
My favorite that I remember, I want to say it's like Kicks with marshmallows, but I think it's a little different. It had its
Uh-huh.
own unique taste.
Okay.
Was Pac-Man cereal. That
Oh
was one of
yeah.
my favorite cereals, and I only got it that one time when it was out, and that was it. But there were a lot. They had like Indiana Jones. They had Gremlin cereal. You know, they had Ninja Turtles and Batman also.
I remember the Ninja
But
Turtle one.
yeah, and I mean, there were so many different type of cereals that were so unique. And Nintendo cereal, come on, you can't forget that one either. And it was like in the 80s, it's crazy because now you see all this nostalgia out there is because our generation and the future generations are out there making movies now, and they're bringing all the old stuff back and they're trying to make it better. And to be honest with you, in the 80s and the 90s, there was, especially the 80s, there were so many toys, so many cartoons, so many cereals out there, so much stuff for kids to like be, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Every week
Yeah.
you want something new. And it
Yeah.
was like, wow, you know, that's why we have so many memories, why we get so happy thinking about it, why there's so many retro shows out there, because we had a great childhood in the 80s, man. It's, you know,
Yes.
and even though I wasn't a child per se in the 90s, I was like,
Preach.
you know, in the
Preach.
teens, they had some great stuff too. You know, you can't, it's different nowadays, but you know, because of health and everything. But it was great, man. It was a lot of fun. Everything was out there, and there's so much. And don't get me started with the Saturday morning cartoons, just the Saturday morning cartoon ones in the 80s. There's a lot. There's even a webpage just for the theme songs of those. And there's
Yeah.
like at least over 200.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, wow. And I go,
You
I
talk-
remember this one, I remember that one. But
Did you talk about, was it Retro Drunk by chance?
I think so. I don't remember now. I saw it years ago.
Okay.
But yeah. But
How
the
about
series,
this?
man, the
How about
series
this
was
for
awesome.
for a future episode? You want to bring on Saturday night cartoons?
Saturday morning cartoons, yeah.
That yeah, it says
That'd be
Saturday
cool,
night.
You know what's funny? There used to be a show. I don't know if it was only in New York or whatever. Since you know it was like the time when I think MTV almost started or whatever. I think it was like 1983. I remember I was like 4 years old. At Friday night, they would always have videos, and the show was called Friday Night Videos, and it would just show music videos. That's what I remember. But yeah.
We had that here. We had that here.
Yeah.
We had something similar. I don't remember the name of it, but we it would show like Friday night like music videos and such, and he had all the 80s and 90s glam at that time, you know,
Yeah.
like
Well, this was actually in the early 80s.
Okay.
I think it was right when MTV was starting, or right before it started. they had that show. It was like an hour show of just music videos.
Yeah, we have versions of that like later on, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Friday nights as well, but I don't remember the name.
Mhm.
All right, so GB, you want to bring on bring on that topic in a future episode?
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, there's so
All
many
right.
to talk about.
So remember it. All right.
Yeah.
So remember it, and we'll see. I don't know about the next episode because our mystery special guest, I think we're going to definitely have him help us with both topics, and I know he'll have plenty to talk about. So maybe for the following one, I think that'll definitely be a great one. Saturday morning cartoons. So O.M.B, what about you? Old school cereal. What comes to mind?
It's funny because just the other day I was actually some episodes, or not episodes, some commercials that I was looking at from old school, and one of the ones that popped up was Corn Pops, and I remember those commercials from there. I gotta have my pops, and I remember my sister. My sister's 40. She's gonna be 47 this year, and so I got all my cereal from my sister. So the two main ones that I remember in the household were Corn Pops and Cookie Crisp. And I remember, man, we used to eat Cookie Crisp like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking, my God, because not only Cookie Crisp because of how good the cereal was, but after that the milk would turn like almost chocolate, and you drink the milk after that.
Oh.
No, that's a Saturday morning cereal right there. Let me tell you.
Oh.
And let me tell you, and I don't know if you've had a chance to revisit Cookie Crisp as of late. It is not the same. It is not the same.
A lot of stuff is not the same anymore, man. They changed some of the stuff to either save money or to not have too much sugar or whatever. I don't know, to be more appealing, but they changed the stuff.
Yeah, and the taste is so different, and I think that the taste actually changed like around the late 2000s, and it's just not at all the same compared to how it was in the late 80s and up to the mid 90s. Oh, amazing! It was such a good cereal, and
that's funny because around 1999 2000, I remember Nestle's Crunch and even World's Finest Chocolate, which was my favorite chocolate. Theirs changed too, and it wasn't as good anymore. I was like, what's going on? It feels kind of weird, like it's missing something. I don't know. But I think around that time things started changing.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, with Cookie Crisp, but Corn Pops, I haven't had in well over 20 years. I can't tell you. Yeah. I can't tell you if they've changed or not.
Is it even still out?
Yeah, it's still out. It's still out that I remember. I haven't had a chance to really like look, but I have seen it in the aisles like sparingly. But then like as time passed on, from Cookie Crisp and Corn Pops, I evolved into there was Reese's peanut Reese's Puffs for sure was another one, because I'm a Reese's fanatic. Yeah, and the other one was peanut butter crunch.
Oh, yes,
peanut butter stuff.
Peanut butter crunch, man.
Peanut butter crunch that was my jam. And the only downside was, the famous cut the roof of your mouth. But
Captain Crunch.
And it's absolutely true.
Captain
it will.
What is Captain Crunch? What I'm talking about. But real quick, the other cereal that changed a lot was also like Lucky Charms. I mean, the besides the shapes, the colors changed. I remember being blue. It was back when I remember it, when they first had the horseshoe, right before they even had the rainbow balloon. Oh, and they had a rainbow whale at one time, just for like limited time. But it was like green clovers, blue diamonds, orange stars, and purple horseshoes, and I forgot what else. But now
horseshoes and balloons.
Now they have orange diamonds, blue stars, or something like they switched the colors or something like that. And I was like, what? That's crazy. When you look at it, it's like totally different.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a good memory.
Yeah, so something horseshoes, clovers, horseshoes, and balloons. Yeah, I remember it was something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I was never a big Lucky Charms fan. Like
that was one of my jams right there.
Like cereals that had like marshmallows in them. I wasn't a huge fan. I'll eat them, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I had compared to like peanut butter. Yeah, no, I forget it.
You know what was also one of my favorites? Kix. It
I was just
didn't
about
have
to say
a lot
that.
of flavors, but Kix was delicious.
I don't know,
And,
something about it.
Kix is a ghetto cereal. We know that.
Yeah,
it is,
hey,
but yo, it's delicious, man. You can't.
Fine
It's
by
like
me.
Yeah,
it's like having white rice with a fried egg and a little bit of salt and the yolk going inside. It sounds like your poor man's food, but it's delicious, bro. It's just saltiness,
Well,
creaminess.
That's a good analogy. I like
But
that.
You know what I'm saying?
but the only thing that Kix did not have,
Sugar.
which I guess it wasn't that sweet. And let me get a little deep with this shit, because
Just use
let's
a little
be
bit
real.
of milk, not so much, and it'll taste awesome.
well, listen, we know the 1980s cereal. It was the demographic was us kids,
Yeah.
and the
sugar ruled the
sweeter
world.
they could make it, the more money they would make. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure the 1980s, maybe even early 1990s cereals were probably the most astronomical sugar-laced cereals, and they probably had to dumb it down to a certain level. But I think we probably in maybe 70s, but we probably had probably some of the most sugary ass cereals that there ever was. And I mean, and there was an explosion of different types of cereals. You mentioned a few, like Ghostbusters. I was looking here at a picture.
Bro, okay. About the sugars, let me tell you this. They used to be frosted everything. Everything would add, frosted this, frosted that.
Frosted
Or they
Flakes.
add marshmallows to something, like Rice Krispies had marshmallow
Rice
Krispies.
Krispies. Yeah.
They had marshmallow Krispies. They had frosted Rice Krispies. And then there was one that they had, which I think was an ice cream cone one. It looked like little ice cream cones.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know which one that's like one of the rare ones to see, but there was another one that I like, Kaboom. It had like a clown on it.
Yeah. I remember that one. I remember that one.
Yo, and remember when Trix cereal it's Trix, the one with the rabbit, right?
Yeah.
That used to be round. Now they have shapes.
But tricks are for kids.
Yeah.
Silly Wabbit.
And for hookers.
or Family
But
Guy.
just-
Asian Tricks. You shall.
That's Lucky. He's got Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious.
Man.
I'll make a cottage and hide inside with me Lucky Charms, the crunchy oat cereal with marshmallow surprises, pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers, and blue diamonds.
Wow,
And that's before the
got
purple
it.
horseshoe, because he was doing something on a merry-go-round and the purple horseshoe, and that's when they had it. I remember that commercial a lot.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
man. But man, they made them really Irish there, man. Holy wow. It must have been like in the early 80s, late 70s.
They wouldn't
They're
let that.
delicious.
The cancel culture now, they wouldn't even allow that.
You know what? Fuck the cancel culture, man. I mean,
Thank you.
you
I
wish
agree.
what you wish, you do what you do,
Yo,
and just
Exactly.
because you
Not
believe in
everything-
something,
yo.
you should not be canceled, man. Fuck you.
there's certain things that don't need to be canceled at all. For stupid little things. I mean, in the past,
Uncle
with
Ben.
racism and stuff, yeah, I understand. But stupid little things like, because it just showed somebody kissing somebody weird or whatever. No, come on. It already happened. This is the past. It's a history now.
I mean,
it's been yeah.
Just get over it and just keep going on with your lives. That wasn't the history. That's just history.
That's
It's like they want to change history. But
so sugar
yeah.
frosted flakes, Rice Krispies, Fruit Loops,
yes. Who can't
Apple
tell?
Apple Jacks,
Apple Jacks used to have the little two kids, Apple and Jack.
and
There
you
was
mentioned
a-
Captain Crunch. I mean, yeah, I love Captain Crunch. So, but yeah, I mean, I think cereal. I mean, we definitely have a great grasp on cereal. I mean, I'll tell you this. My kids, my kids growing up right now, Gio 14, Mia 6. We really don't have. I mean, we buy like regular cereal, but nothing really special. But I mean, I remember, back growing up, even though I had a lot of Kellogg's in my, kitchen cabinet, but there
about
were
cornflakes?
times that, my mom would switch it around and she would get some of the special ones. Now I pulled up a picture here. So you mentioned there was Ghostbusters cereal. Well, so check this out. There was Donkey Kong cereal.
Oh
Donkey
yeah.
Kong Jr., E.T. cereal, G.I. Joe cereal, Gremlin cereal. There was every motherfucking cereal of anything that was popular.
It was as much as the cartoons, man.
It was cool.
As many cereals as the cartoons that they had in the 80s.
Hell
they had to promote
man.
something.
Hell yeah.
I can't imagine. It's crazy. They never made a He-Man cereal. They never had a Voltron cereal.
Yeah, I never did. Yeah, you're right.
You know, that'd be crazy. I don't know what they make it out of or whatever, but it would be nuts. So like I said, sometimes it's just something simple. Like if you look at C3POs, I swear to God, it's just two Cheerios stuck together and they just market as C3POs. And remember, like I said, look, they even have frosted Krispies, which is Rice Krispies with sugar, extra sugar.
Yeah.
They had some wrestling.
Pop was just a little thing just to have, just to sell, characters on, to sell it to kids, man. It's basically fried rice. You're eating baked fried rice or whatever it is that's not cooked, that turned into that and something like that. And that turned into that, you eat it as a cereal now.
They had some wrestling themed cereals too, didn't they?
Who?
The wrestling themed ones, like WWF ones, or
probably.
Oh, I don't know. Let's go check that out.
I think they did. I want to say Hulk Hogan. I'm almost certain had a cereal.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Anything that
Booty-O's, WWF superstars. Yes,
that's the Booty-O's. Yeah, it's a New Day, but that's new. But
yeah, it had WrestleMania 13 on it. No, WrestleMania 8 on it. My bad.
So that's 1992. Oh, yeah.
That's Hulk Hogan going like,
yeah. I think, that's what I was gonna say. I kind of remember that.
Oh, here's one I didn't even know they had: Slimer the Real Ghostbusters Cereal. It looks like it's just Ghostbusters Cereal, just with a different cover.
So here I see Barbie cereal, the C3PO cereal you mentioned, which, oh my God, that shit, the shape of it just looks like two circles stuck together.
Exactly, that's all it was.
Batman cereal. I can't believe this, and it doesn't sound too appetizing, but the 80s was huge with this. Cabbage Patch Kids cereal.
Wow.
The cabbage doesn't sound too appetizing for me. They got
Mr. T. Don't forget Mr. T cereal.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, Mr. T.
Nerds.
Bill and Ted's cereal.
Oh wow, I didn't know that one.
Hot Wheels cereal.
What?
I didn't know that either.
Magic Crunch with Mickey Mouse.
Whoa, I never heard of that one either.
And they actually had a Morning Funnies. So actually, you know what? Talking about Morning Funnies, do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
The newspaper. I remember. On Sundays,
I think
the newspaper was like this freaking thick, and it had so much in there for it was like for like $1, but then it had the comic strips, and I remember I would follow that shit every Sunday, and I was excited to get that.
I think they still have it. I mean that's where I learned to see the Boondocks, Family Circle. There's a bunch of other ones. Even Garfield was on there.
Yeah, it was
it was just like a few lines and boom, you throw in a joke and
it was Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes.
The Peanuts.
Yeah. Spider-Man had one. I don't know if it's still, but I remember I always followed that one. And then another cool thing was, I had the different circulars for different stores. So I would always love seeing the Best Buy one. That's where I would get my circular.
I would always look at the coupons and see what was good that I liked.
And the coupons, look to see if there was some cereal special.
Back as a kid, did you guys ever get those because before internet, you couldn't just go online and order something. You'll get a catalog of a company, let's say like Sears. And they have all the sections of the stuff that you want. You order it on the phone. They get it to you, boom, and you order. I never did that. I never ordered because I was a kid. But I remember going through it with my cousins and my brothers and just looking through it. Goes, I want that. I want this. I want that. We'll look at the toys. We'll look at the jewelry. We'll look at all that stuff.
Let me tell you what was some of the other stuff that some of these catalogs might have that I really looked at. Was the section of the women's lingerie or bikinis.
Yeah.
And
you bought a
don't
few
be
too.
quiet and make believe like you guys didn't do it, but
Absolutely.
I know I would turn to those pages and I would look at those pages like over and over and over.
Yeah.
Good looking women on there.
Oh yeah.
Always.
And that was the closest to Playboy magazine. All right, so we're at 25 minutes.
Now, the closest I got to Playboy magazines, it's funny. In New York, you used to have like little stationery stores and stuff. I remember going to this one where you have all the comic books, and we'll look at the comic books. But right next to the comic books, swear to God, were the porn mags and books.
Yeah.
In you know, cover, you know, zipped up in plastic and everything.
Exactly.
I remember that still.
Or some of the little books that were there had, you know, like little animated drawn porn stuff. But yeah, we'll look at the comic book, look at the guy, and then look at the manual, at the other books, you know.
Well, I mean, and we got to realize, for those that know, and I know you guys know, you know, a lot of New York store bodegas or magazines or comic stores, I mean, you know, they're small, so everything is next to each other. I mean, there's not like a lot of space, you know, that they can lay things out. So yeah, the comic books, you know, could be next to anything. And I remember I would try to take a peek, you know, and looking over to see if the guy at the register was looking, and, you know, flip through a few pages as quick as I could, but you know, not being of the legal age to be able to purchase it yet.
10, 11 years old, that was me. Let me tell you this right now. It was a kind of a shock, besides the season thing being like one season the whole year coming to Florida from New York. You know, going to a store, you had to go like a shopping center, and going from walking from somewhere was like almost 20 minutes to go somewhere sometimes. Just walking. This is before we had a car. And in New York, you could walk down about 5 minutes, you're in a bunch of places. One block had a bunch of different stores. It'd be a stationery store, it'd be a fruit store, one with meat, one with fish. You had the laundromat, you had a store that had other stuff in it. And then across the street was a video store and another store that had two other stationery stores. You know, it's like multiple stores in the whole block areas. Bogy, you say you live near where I live, but the area I'm talking about the most was on Roosevelt and 90th Street.
Okay.
Right there.
90th Street. That was a good street.
That's where I used to walk around a lot where I lived in Elmhurst. When I lived there.
A lot of stores, restaurants. There was a great. I don't know if it's still there. I don't think so. But right in 90th Street, when you get off the train and you get you get to the street level, there was a pizzeria there.
Yeah, it's no longer there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's no longer there. It's something else now. It wasn't even a pizzeria. It was not just a pizzeria. They sold like barbecue stuff, like other stuff too, but they made good pizza. And I remember coming from between that and Jackson Heights, there used to be a place, a little store that sold like rotisserie chicken in those paper bags with aluminum inside of it. And when you open it, that smell was so good. And if I smell that, it's like nostalgia, bro. Even though I don't eat meat anymore, but it's like nostalgia with that.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
That type of layout that you guys are talking about. Yeah. Down here, you don't really see that. It's very rare to be in a neighborhood that has everything packed right nearby. I will say this: me growing up, I grew up on 21st Street and 57th Ave. Mm-hmm. So right next door was El Rinconcito, which is still there. But back in I'm gonna take you back, guys, like about 30 years. Across the street, literally, like I was on 21st Ave. To the left of me, like if you literally walked across the street.
But this is Queens.
This is in Hialeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was born in New York, but I was only 10 months old when they brought me down, so I don't remember anything. But in Hialeah,
they snuck you over the border and brought you to Hialeah.
They snuck me over from the northern border to south. Yeah, they went backwards. So I remember there we had a laundromat first, but the laundromat also had arcade cabinets. And two arcade cabinets that I remember specifically was Street Fighter 2 and World Heroes. And it had that, and then it became Friendly Groceries, which was the only mom and pop grocery store that I had ever been to that point. And the guy actually lived on our block, and he owned it. He was actually, is the weirdest thing. He was born in the border between Iran and Iraq. Right. So he didn't have a country affiliation. He was just the border, and the guy was awesome. And I used to go buy my Reese's there. And in that same plaza next door, we had a Rinconcito, and then next to him was a place called Renzo's Pizza. And then that Renzo's Pizza became Polo Norte. And
Rentals Pizza?
Renzo, yeah, Renzos. Renzo's.
Oh,
Pizza.
okay. I thought you said Rentals Pizza.
No, Renzo's.
Okay.
And then it became Polo Norte in like 1996, if I remember correctly. And then on the other side of the neighborhood, there was the bakery, which was back then it was called Yesie's Bakery. It's now called Breadman. And then next door there was a video store called Master Video Alameda, and JFEW actually knows the guy. He knows the owner. I was really good friends with him. I don't know if he's still alive, but JFEW actually bought a few games for him when he closed down because he had to close down.
Was this West 21st Street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 21st Ave.
21st Ave. Okay.
So.
But you said it was on 57th Street and 21st Ave.
Yeah. At least El Rinconcito and Renzo's and the Friendly Grocery was there, and then the other one was on 21st. I think it was 21st Court or it might have been 20th. The street right next door, and that plaza is still there. It's still there. Domino's is still there. I think Domino's is probably the only original thing left there in that plaza, besides the Hialeah Auto Tire. Well, anyways, that was the closest that we've ever had to just having everything right nearby. Because if not, to walk to Publix, you had to go walk a few miles. To go to Bucky Dent Park, you had to walk a little ways.
Yeah, I lived across
McDonald's.
the street from Bucky Dent Park. I even worked there in the pools.
So
One of my best memories.
So you lived right next to me then, because I grew up on 57th and 21st Ave, and I was there from 91 until 2006, and then before that I lived on 61st and 22nd Lane, which I'm convinced that house was haunted. I'm telling you, 6160 West 22nd Lane. I'm telling you, that house had something. That's a story for another day.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and just to I'll end it with what GB started here about stores and things being very close by in certain areas. For myself, I lived in Corona, Queens, right off of Roosevelt on 99th Street, and for me it was Junction Boulevard.
Yeah.
So, 7 train, the 7 train, you can take it to the Junction Boulevard stop. And when you get off of there, you can pretty much go, in one direction and have a whole bunch of stores and restaurants. And you go in the other direction, which was extremely long block. You can pretty much get anything and everything there, from clothing to furniture to food. Everything was there. So for me, Junction Boulevard was like I guess what we know as a mall, that has anything and everything that you want.
Just like Jackson Heights.
Yeah. So Junction Boulevard, had a bank, had McDonald's, had a pizzeria, had restaurants. I mean, anything and everything. You know what? I guess, looking back, I was blessed. I had it all right there at my fingertips. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching here. We had this great conversation going old school, talking from cereals, to locations and, having that accessibility, back in the 80s and 90s, growing up in the environments that we did. So hope you guys really enjoyed it. And if you guys have any thoughts and want to share anything that you guys have gone through or remember from the 80s with cereals and things like that, go ahead and put it down in the comments. All right, so this is your man Bogy, and we are going to go ahead and start signing off here with GB.
Who you gonna call?
And O.M.B.
Play loud and play proud.
So this is your man Captain Bogy saying enough said, and you guys are watching the CREW Afterhours. That's it. After hours.
I didn't know you were gonna go that far.
Peace.